Hello, I'm Sadie Groom. I'm the founder and CEO of Rise, Rise Women in Broadcast and Rise Women in AV.
Hello, I'm Deborah Cross. I'm the Operations Director for Rise Women in Broadcast.
So we're going to be interviewing and chatting to each other, basically. We obviously work together very closely. So, but we're here to talk about Rise, what it is, what we do, why it's needed, why it's important. So, Deb, do you want to tell me what Rise is currently doing, all of our amazing programmes that you are running?
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
So, we've obviously just launched or just announced our mentoring programme for 2026. Record numbers, I mean hundreds and hundreds of applications. The UK alone, we had 140 applicants, of which we normally cap it at 30. We've gone to 38 this year, so it's going to be a big cohort. I've met many of the mentees and mentors already over the last couple of days, and it's going to be an absolute belter. The excitement and the positivity in and around what this cohort is going to be this year is fantastic, and it's really great to see. So that's obviously our bread and butter is our mentoring program. We just launched a new initiative called Rise Upskill. And essentially what that is, we are working in partnership with AWS, who have always been incredible partners and supporters of Rise. They came to us and said, we want to give you 50 credits.
Wow.
For AWS accreditation, either in cloud fundamentals or AI. This is a global initiative. We've opened it out. We're doing it as a register your interest, for which 50 women are going to be selected from around the world, and then they're going to put in the study between the 1st of June and the end of August to sit that accreditation, pass the exam. And then we're hopefully going to have a lovely little celebration at IBC to congratulate those that are in attendance.
Yeah, amazing.
Cheers to them.
Yeah.
Huge well done. So in addition to that, we have started working very closely. One of the things that's at the heart of what Rise does is the influence of the partnerships in our industry. We had some really great conversations with the IAMT at NAB, and they asked us to participate in a podcast, which we did, which was fantastic and will be out soon. That's talking about allyship. But the other thing they said is we really want to do something with you collaboratively at MPTS. So we had to think about what we could do, and we decided what would be really useful and beneficial would be a technical floor walk. So we got 12. I know something you've really always been very passionate about. So we're like, look, let's pilot it at MPTS. Exactly. So we had 12 of our new mentee cohort, and Stuart Ray kindly volunteered his time and reached out to a number of the IAMT partners, scheduled some really great demos, tech demos on the stands. We did a complete itinerary. We had a route which culminated in our drinks event yesterday afternoon. The feedback was fantastic. Really? These women got back at the end of the walk and their minds were blown. They were just so...
I've seen it at CES and it's always, it's always good, and I think it's, it's great to see a bunch of women walking
very
around, and it says something to everybody else. But I think just to get those demos explained. So just need to lean in a bit. To just get all this technology explained to them, and it's really... it's really empowering for them from an educational perspective as well, especially if they're in a different part of the industry. I mean, obviously we have got, we've got people on the mentoring program that are technical, but then we've got people that aren't.
And it was a nice mix. The attendees, it was a nice split between technical and non-technical. But we're going to do it again at IBC. We're going to do it bigger and better. The appetite's there for sure, and obviously we'll have more of our global community in attendance as well. So we've got that. We're also now heavily planning for IBC and the next trade show, next events. So one of the things that's really passionate, part of our passion is getting female voices on stages. Now, one thing I know that Charlotte has worked so incredibly hard at this show, it's not one panel didn't have female contribution,
Yeah, exactly.
which was incredible to see, and it's the way it should be, right? So with Panel Plus, we have this list of incredible female speakers, but when I talk to women in our community, they're telling me they're terrified of public speaking. The thought of it makes them feel physically sick, and it's just not for them. So what we're doing is we're engaging with a communication specialist that we've actually got a sponsorship from a fantastic organisation that are going to pay for her travel and accommodation, bring her over to IBC, and then we're running a workshop in and around public speaking and communication.
Perfect.
But it wouldn't just be oriented for getting up on a stage, because for some people it just will never happen.
No,
it's terrifying.
exactly.
It's not for them. We accept that, but we need to think about it in a wider context in and around communication. So it could be as simple as the feedback that we get is that women that are on, say, video calls, team calls, where it's male dominated, sometimes they can't get a word in edgeways, or they get cut in, they get interrupted, or they have these fantastic ideas that they want to articulate, but something's holding them back. So it's just empowering and upskilling these women to say, look, do you know what, we hear you, we understand what your challenges are, let's find a solution.
So then we've got Rise Elevate as well.
Elevate is happening, it's coming, comms have already gone out, our Jedis have been secured, and it's going to be incredible. So we piloted it last year with Rise AV. I attended purely as an observer to see if we felt it could really fit for WIB, and literally within the first 20 minutes I was like, we're doing it. We need to do this. It's fantastic. It's going to bring together women that are in management, moving into leadership roles, a number of skills. They're going to have one-to-one mentoring with our Jedis, as we're calling them, and it's going to be a really great cohort. And I know it's a 6-week program, and again, the importance of it isn't just about the skills they're going to gain, it's this community that we build again and again. So in that perspective, I'm very excited for the first cohort. And
we've obviously got Rise Awards coming up in November.
We have,
so nominations were open for that in the next couple of weeks. So, and then we reveal the shortlist at IBC, and then we're on November the 17th back at Troxy, which is great. Wow, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on for our very, very small team.
Just looping back to the awards, I think certainly being for the first time part of the shortlisting panel last year, we received so many applications, and it's a lot to go through and read every single one, which we do. We do not use AI, but one thing that people that perhaps didn't make the shortlist always ask is why. We thought we submitted a really strong application. We have created some guidance notes that we did distribute last year, but we'll do again this year. For anybody thinking about nominating, people can self-nominate, of course, but if they want to, anybody that wants to nominate somebody they feels worthy of an award. So really think about the information that we're providing in terms of the strength of the application. We had a couple of just literally one-liners last year.
We really did.
And we need.
She's fabulous. Yes, no, I'm sure she is.
We get that,
but you need to tell us a bit more.
Exactly. So really excited about the Rise Awards. We obviously have opportunity for sponsoring an award, and that takes us quite nicely on to the other reason that we're here and what we need to talk about.
Right. So, I'm the person that always says, I'm going to get my begging bowl out now. So we do need sponsorship. I think to go into that topic, why is Rise so important? What are we doing? I mean, I know. It's been so important for me, and to see everybody and progressing. Rise is now nearly 8 years old. So, and I saw somebody yesterday who was like in cohort 1 for mentoring, and those cohorts still together. Why do you think Rise is so important?
I think it's the community. It's the change. Obviously, the change within the industry, and seeing women that are on that career trajectory, where the confidence, the skills they gain, you can see them continually pushing on with their careers. And they're in a really good place. But I think the most unique and special thing we have is the relationships and the bonds that are created. These like you say, the day one cohort, year one cohorts are still in communication now. But when things go wrong, that's a bit, they celebrate successes, right? But when things go wrong, and the massive driver at the moment around the conversations I know is redundancy, which is happening in the industry so much. And even at the show, today and yesterday, like women coming onto the stand and just saying, I've been made redundant, I don't know what to do, I'm lost, I haven't got a clue where to start, I've lost my confidence and I really need help. And so we're like, okay, what do you want to do? Who, what does that look like for you next? What did you do previously, etc. Okay, here's some contacts, let's get you in touch with this person, let's connect you with that person. And all of a sudden you see their shoulders drop and the relief in their face. You think it's the support, it's knowing you're not alone, it's knowing that you've always got somebody to reach out to, and that we will do absolutely everything we can to support. But I think, we've also had so many allies and advocates that have come to the stand over the last couple of days. And I think it's really important to know that although Rise is evolves, and why we're so important is that we are here for the women in our industry. We couldn't really be doing any of this without our incredible advocates and allies that are supporting, helping with mentoring, championing what we do, but also championing the women that they work with as well. So I think it's that constant reaffirmation and remembering that that there should be equity in terms of women in the industry and why not. But it's been great to see. And I think, the importance is that we carry on, we continue to do, we grow. We've just launched our 9th chapter globally, and there's just so much more we want to do. And if we can, not only are we, so for example, we're creating chapters, for example, in Europe, but now we've also got hubs in France, Spain, Germany,
we've
Belgium,
got all the individual ones as well.
And we need to continue to build out these hubs. So it's not just big territories, but okay, where are these communities of women? And how do we connect them? And how do we continue to grow?
And I think when I set it up, I wanted to change the industry, and change the people's views on women, from all sorts of levels. We were talking earlier about, people being technical and non-technical. We still have instances at trade shows where someone will go up to someone's stand and say, oh, I've got a question. And they say, I'll go and get Nicola. And they'll say, no, I've got a technical question.
It's not about marketing.
And so that is still happening.
It is.
And I think, we have changed that perception, I believe. One of the things that, I've tried to campaign for is to have job titles on people's badges at shows. So that if someone walks up to your stand, they know what you. If you're CTO, it says you're a CTO.
Sure.
So as a female, I think the other initiative that we've done is the Safe Car initiatives. A couple of trade shows. We've had women come up to us and just say, I think you literally saved me from something very bad.
Absolutely.
So, and I think it has a role to play. Everyone always asks me what my goal is for Rise, and I would just say for it not to exist. But at things are changing, absolutely. But are they changing quick enough? Probably not. So how can people get involved? What sort of money? I mean, one of the questions people always say to me is, I haven't got enough money to sponsor you. And I'm like, give us £500. We'll do something with it.
Absolutely. And I think, certainly in the last year with the partnerships, our existing partnerships, but also new partnerships, is, I'm having these conversations where I'm saying, okay, what's your D&I strategy? Why do you want to help Rise? What do you want to achieve from this? Okay, and you've got to have some element of ROI behind why you're doing it, other than the core fundamental obvious part. And so organisations come and say, well, look, we want to do this with you because X, Y, Z. And we're like, okay, let's do that, and this is the budget. So we have a really comprehensive sponsorship deck which will lay out the baseline of our packages. But like you say, if somebody comes and says, Debs, we can only give you 500 quid. That's 500 quid we need to ensure that we can run our next programme. Somebody commented yesterday on the booth, obviously amazing stand, and I think we also need to mention DCE.
So thank you DCE agency.
And Think Expo for making it possible. But they said, oh God, look at all your sponsors. You're not for profit, aren't you? You're doing so well. It's like, no, do you know what? the amount that we do and the cost it is to do that, you know, and we run as you know, we run a really lean team.
As the person in charge of the budget.
Indeed.
So.
But we're nowhere near where we need to be from a funding and sponsorship perspective. So what can people do? Just talk to us. And even if you think, I can't afford thousands, I won't get that approved, can't get that signed off, a small contribution, if everybody could just contribute a small amount, we could continue doing what we're doing for years to come, rather than the worry and the concern about can we do the next programme, do we have to cancel this initiative?
And we want to provide these initiatives at all levels as well, and we've got the C-suite program as well, and another leaders program, and people do have to pay for those, but the cost is so minimal compared. I mean, I went to Ashridge Business School and did a week's course. Then this was about 12 years ago, and that was like £7,000 then.
Yeah,
we're asking for like less than £1,000 for these things.
Yeah. And the great thing is, again, the power of our partnerships and our community is that these training facilitators that do engage with big corporate clients and charge a hell of a lot more. They do it at a discounted rate to offer this service and solution for Rise, and we don't make a profit from it, as you know. We pass that discount on, so it's incredible training at a considerably discounted rate, but also targeted and very specific in terms of the industry. And having spoken to people that have had training recently, externally, perhaps a program that their company sort of brought in, and nothing connected to Rise, they just don't get what we do. There was no value to it. There was no benefit from it. Whereas we curate these programs, these training workshops specifically for women in the industry, and we do it really competitively.
And I mean, our OB program is a really good example of that, because we had women that couldn't be on our mentoring program because the time of year it runs, they would be out on the trucks doing sporting events.
Too many events, and especially if they're freelance and they can't sacrifice days and days of loss of revenue with income. And on that note, we're definitely going ahead with the OB program again this year, but we're bringing it back bigger and better insofar as we're going to arrange for some tech demos of kit as well. So and again, that was based on the feedback we received. Every time we run a program or an initiative, we always ask for feedback. What did you enjoy the most? But what can we do?
What else
could
we do?
Exactly. And one of the requests was some actually to be able to get their hands on some kit and get some specialists in and do some tech demos. And we're like, okay, well, we can make that happen.
We can make that happen. So I think the plea is, please get involved. It's risewib.com. I feel like I'm doing an advert now, like one of those radio adverts. Call it. We need money to survive. We really do. You just have. I mean, when we announce our mentoring programs or the awards, LinkedIn is just flooded with it, and we need money to be able to make that happen. Anything else you want to add before we finish?
No, I just think we just got to keep doing what we're doing and come and talk to us. Get involved.
Exactly.
There's so much we want to do, but we need support.
And spread the message. I think and I think also it's worth saying that it isn't just for women. This is helping companies. We've got some great allies and advocates, but if there's a program that you think we should run as well, then let us know. We're looking at women's health issues. There's all of these things. There's our Strive to Rise accreditation program, which we're going to launch again soon. So there's a lot, but we need help. So thank you very much.
Pleasure talking to you.